This is a Young Turks clip about Beyonce's Super Bowl performance.
Okay. Also, Reese.
One
more.
Beyonce's new song and video Formation has been deemed a Black Power anthem, as well as an endorsement for the Black Lives Matter movement in a timely release before February's Black History Month, as well as her performance in the Super Bowl. Now, the video is chock full of powerful imagery, some showing her on top of a police car in a flooded New Orleans. There's other images as it slowly sinks throughout the video.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was confusing.
Martin Luther King. Graffiti saying else. Stop shooting us.
You can pause the trend.
Yeah, well, that seems.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk. This is in. Oh my God.
Sorry about that.
Who wants to look at that? This is more in reference to actually a music video she released right before she went to the Super Bowl. I think they touch on that maybe a little bit in this. Yeah, we can keep going.
Okay.
Pretty clear.
Yeah, as well as a super powerful image of a young child in a hoodie, sort of dancing in front of these New Orleans cops, and then eventually having them put their hands up in the, don't shoot me, hands up movement. Now, it's also a celebration of Black culture in itself, of Beyonce's own Southern roots, an embrace of them that contrasts the dated, offensive narrative that when a person becomes successful, they should shun their history and where they came from. The lyrics mention things such as afros. She says that you can't take the country out of her. And she also talks about her affinity for cornbread and collard greens. So this video was released a day before.
Yeah, they've just kind of been talking about it like, oh, this is normal. It's like, it seems a little strange that she used Black Panther imagery to celebrate Black Lives Matter. Now I understand it's, celebration of like the 50th anniversary of Black Panthers or whatever. But the two organizations in my mind are not even comparable. We touched on this earlier in the show when Non-Believer was still with us. It's just, why do we need to reference a known hate group? Like I don't see swastikas at the Super Bowl, at least I'd hope not. It just seems I don't even understand what it's trying to accomplish. It seems just like an outdated political message in general. It's just trying to rile up some nostalgia that's wildly misplaced. Yeah, keep playing.
For her Super Bowl performance. And then you can see an image here of the Super Bowl performance. Beyonce's backup dancers were dressed in all black with black berets and afros, reminiscent of the way members of the Black Panther Party dressed in the 1960s. They even raised their fists, something very similar to the Black Panther movement.
I love this. And I think what she's doing here is powerful. So sinking the New Orleans cop car, of course, it's going to make some people mad, right? Oh, how dare you? Right. She's not respecting the police. Now, remember, some officers during Hurricane Katrina were charged.
Who's saying that? Like, you show a cop car sinking in a video, automatic disrespect of the police. Maybe that's trying to signify something else. Maybe that could actually be symbolism for the police force, like drowning under crime that they can't control or something like that. Now, I understand that she probably didn't mean that. It's just such a weird thing for Cenk to come in on. Yeah, let's keep going.
Literally, with shooting at black people trying to escape the flooding on bridges. As they were trying to cross over to predominantly white areas, they would get shot. So
that's like such
you'll excuse people if they're slightly mad about that.
That's crazy.
And now Beyonce could have played it safe and not made allusions to that or to Hands Up, where and a lot of people could take that kid dancing and then the cops putting their hands up as, no, we're flipping the narrative here. And you need to put your hands up.
So playing it safe would be basically having like a Black Lives Matter message is playing it safe. I don't understand how that's not playing it safe. That is what's popular right now. It doesn't make sense to say I'm playing it safe because I have this mainstream popular opinion. Oh my God. Just no.
That'll frighten a lot of people, right? And she's saying, no, but we're the ones getting shot. So hence the sign, "Don't shoot us."
Right.
Hence
People
the reference
of
to the
all
Black
races,
Panthers
all
taking the power
ages,
back.
and all genders get shot.
And so I loved it. I mean, that is really, really strong. It takes a certain amount of risk, and in entertainment,
No.
you're constantly told, "Don't take any risks. Don't offend anyone. It
Right.
might jeopardize a couple of dollars here or there."
No, no, no.
I also want to say, Jolly Green Giant says, I would like to point out that in 2012 she made a commercial coming out against gun violence. Now she goes out during the Super Bowl wearing bullets on her vest.
Yeah, basically celebrating a group that was extremely pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment. There's the thing I don't get about Cenk. Like, he'll be talking, and he'll just kind of be talking normally, and he'll just have this sudden, like, it's almost like Tourette's. He just, like, freaks out. He's like, he gets all wide-eyed. He's like, whoa, whoa, like, what is this? What is this, Cenk? Why do you just, like, spaz out? Like, you're not even... It's not like you change any of the content of the sentence. You're just randomly in the middle of sentences, you have like a panic attack. It's very disconcerting. I actually worry about you, Cenk. We can keep going.
Here's Beyonce saying, "I don't give a damn." And she's certainly rich enough to do that. And buried into the songs, probably most people unfortunately won't notice. But even if it subtly influences people in the right direction, fantastic. More power to her.
Yeah, no, and Katrina, excuse me, is something that's
Subtly
very,
influences
very
them,
important
like
for
subliminal
Beyonce. In fact, her and Jay-Z have donated quietly $7 million to the effort following the hurricane. So that's really important.
That's so quiet, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, no, exactly. And so I think
Something
they've
got past
donated, I
Cenk.
think, $1.5
Amazing.
million to the Black Lives Matter movement. So this is something that's very close to her heart. And this is one of her most politically charged videos. And obviously, a lot of people are celebrating this and applauding her for making this movement, especially people within the Black Lives Matter movement. But some people at a particular network may disagree with her stance here, as well as her bringing it to the Super Bowl platform.
I wonder what network they could be talking about. Do you mean Fox News, which apparently in your mind is like the only news network because that's all you ever really cover? Fox News, a news network that a 5-year-old could tear apart. Like, you do understand, like, I've covered Fox News as fodder. You guys make a career out of it. It doesn't make you look intellectually superior in any way to best Fox News. That'd be like pulling a handicapped person out of their wheelchair and saying that you had great strength. Let's keep going.
Monday, Mayor Rudy Giuliani commented on Fox News saying the halftime show I thought was ridiculous anyway. I don't know what the heck it was. Corruptible. A bunch of people bouncing around and all strange things. It was terrible. This is football, not Hollywood, and I thought it was really outrageous that she used it as a platform to attack police officers who are the people who protect her and protect us and keep us alive.
Okay, so one sec. It's such a cherry-picked example. Like, I'm sure other people reacted to it. Did you really not expect Mr. Mayor 9/11 to say something stupid? Of course he's not going to get it. This is a guy who looks like Nosferatu. It's just ridiculous. We can keep going. We're doing good. I bet the chat's loving this.
They haven't posted anything much.
Come on, people.
But they talked about how cornbread and collard greens are a Southern thing and not a black thing.
They're a Southern thing. She's celebrating her Southern culture. I've never really seen that come out in anything else Beyonce has released. That's strange.
I get where he's coming from, but obviously her movement is a lot more necessary right now in this movement, and especially on the platform of the Super Bowl. So the Super Bowl is the most viewed sports event in sports history, right?
Necessary?
And the NFL fan base is 77%
we need to have
white, and the majority of those people are also affluent. So it's like rich white people who do need to hear this message if they're not getting it from somewhere else. So I think it's important that she brought it to this stage.
Yeah, that's why they...
Yeah, those rich white ignorant fucks, they need to hear this. They don't know what's up. It's like, how condescending can you be? Like, do you really think they haven't heard of Black Lives Matter? Do you really think they haven't heard about all these cases of police brutality? That's just appalling. Of course they've heard of it. It's all that's been in the news.
Keep going.
Yeah.
They're mad.
Yeah.
What a nonsensical comment. This is not Hollywood. What are you talking about? The whole thing's entertainment. Football's entertainment. Music's entertainment. Of course it's Hollywood.
Right.
It's all in the same genre. And his comments were even more...
Okay, I hate to pause this so quick.
Disrespect.
Okay, just because, yeah, it is all Hollywood, it is all entertainment. The real question is, why are we shoving political messages into something that's supposed to be entertaining? Like, can I just watch the Super Bowl and turn off my brain? Like, really? I don't... Even if I happen to agree with a message, like I might see like a Sanders ad, I'll be like, yeah, Sanders. I don't want to see that when I'm watching the Super Bowl. And they're basically just taking advantage of it and being parasites on the system. Like, oh, there's so many people watching. Let's shove our message down everyone's throat. Literally, no one likes when you proselytize your message at them, especially when they're trying to focus on something else.
He said, ironically, that the black community needs to, quote, build up respect for police officers. That sounds like know your role, know your place. And Beyonce is in effect saying, no, this is my role, this is my place. So I have accumulated this power through the success I've had in entertainment, and I'm going to use it.
Right.
So if that makes you uncomfortable,
so
well, that's your problem.
The difference is that we have two sides of a really dark coin. And this is something that was being alluded to earlier in the show. We have Mayor Rudy Giuliani, former mayor of New York, who's really coasted by on that despite not even being the current mayor. I don't know why his opinions are relevant, but who cares? He's saying respect the police at all times. And then we have the Young Turks with this message of basically don't respect the police. Can we get away from these extremes? Can we have a healthy respect of the police and understand and prosecute when police officers go over the line? I have a great deal of respect for police officers. I know several people who put their lives on the line. I understand what a difficult job it is. And I'm very much a person who thinks police brutality is a problem, and I'm against it. But at the same time, even me, I can see that we do have a problem in America in terms of people who say "fuck all police." That is wrong, and that's not helpful to this conversation in any way. Yeah,
not mine. And she is doing all the right things in terms of if you have a person who's built this platform, you use it for good. A lot of the athletes did back in the 1960s. So whether it was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Bill Walton, who was white, who said, we're going to stand up against Vietnam, we're going to stand up for civil rights for African Americans.
Amazing.
And so if you want to watch us play basketball and you like us, well, I got a message for you. Stop beating up on black people. And
who
so,
wants to hear that message
which brings us all the way back to the Black Panthers. Giuliani hates the Black Panthers. He, talked disparagingly about them in that interview, but he always does anyway. They always use it as like,
God. We caught him in like full.
That's a great pause.
Yeah, someone should screen cap that. Oh my God. So basically, Rudy Giuliani spoke disparagingly of the Black Panthers. It's like, so are you saying you don't? You do understand that they're pretty much they're a hate group, Cenk. They're like the Black Ku Klux Klan. This is not a movement that we should just be like, yeah, what a bunch of stand-up fellas. That's odd. That would be like if someone was like, they spoke disparagingly about the Ku Klux Klan and that really upset me. It's like, whoa, dude. What the fuck did you just say? You can't say that. How can you say that? That's madness.
Black Panthers, they're the worst. But understand what the Black Panthers originally were, why they were set up in the first place. Because it was the 1960s,
right?
And black people were systematically discriminated against far beyond what is today. And today is already pretty bad, right? But if you haven't read anything about the 1960s and you don't know how people were still getting murdered for not knowing their role and lynched, etc., and the civil rights workers that were killed by the Klan. Okay, yes, the Klan was still around
that in no way justifies the Black Panthers. That in no way would justify the Nation of Islam or Malcolm X. That's why we've pretty much come away, when we look back at history, we generally say those guys were pieces of shit. And we revere people like Martin Luther King Jr., who were able to cause change in a peaceful way. That is something that I look on much more favorably. Just because a group is being oppressed does not justify any racism or hatred that comes from that group. I mean, there's always people who try to justify bigotry that way, and it's bullshit.
Incredibly powerful in some portions of the country, and the Black Panthers said, "Hey, listen, I have a Second Amendment right to weapons. Weapons are used against me, and I'm going to use these weapons not offensively, but for its intended purpose, self-protection, as the founding fathers intended." So when they did that, white people flipped out. And so everybody was like, "Oh my God, the Black Panthers is black people with guns."
That's what I'm talking about.
Now
Jake,
the NRA should be on their side. It turns out they weren't.
Chat, you're noticing this, right? Like, why is this guy such a spastic fuck?
Jolly Green Giant was talking about some stuff earlier. He says there's a difference between questioning authority constructively and outright breaking the law.
Absolutely. Like, they're like, he's saying, oh, the Black Panthers just exercising their Second Amendment rights. Like, you don't have the right to just like walk around in public with guns brandished and pointing at people. Like, I don't think you can have a gun.
He also says this coming from the same, and he's talking about what the thing he talked about just before we paused it. He says, this coming from the same guy that advocates for gun control. Go fuck yourself, Cenk.
Yeah, I mean, I advocate for some slight gun control. I think, you know, in some cases, open carry is fine with me as long as you're like registered or whatever. But yeah, Cenk is someone he on the extreme left who's always pushing this guns are evil narrative, which is crazy. But now, only in the case where black people are using them against whites because he's such a racist bastard, it's okay. Like, you do understand, Cenk, how like your positions are always changing. It's weird. I wonder why that is. Let's keep going.
Shocking. So the Black Panthers took over a state building once. Now let me show you how differently it went than when certain Bundy militia take over a federal building today.
Talking about that.
They went into the California State House and they had weapons. At the time, it was perfectly legal for them to bring weapons into the State House. Right. Nonetheless, everybody went crazy. They didn't take it over like, okay, they didn't take out any of the weapons. They didn't threaten anybody, unlike the militia guys today, right? But people were so disconcerted by the idea that black people came into the State House with weapons that they immediately threw them out from the building, and the Black Panthers walked out. Mm-hmm. They didn't resist it. In fact, they got arrested even though they were technically perfectly legal what they had done, right?
Okay, stop.
Afterward.
The libertarian in me is screaming right now, says Jolly Green Giant.
Yeah, I mean, very much. I could see that. I would really like to see a citation for this. This sounds like a really cherry-picked thing. I don't trust Cenk as a presenter in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, that's just, I mean, no, keep going.
The NRA petitioned California to change the law so that they couldn't carry weapons anywhere they liked. Wait a minute, I thought the NRA was always in favor of weapons everywhere. I thought a good guy with a gun could stop a bad guy with a gun. Turns out when that guy is black, they don't consider him a good guy. And you know who signed that into law?
Stop. I doing some further research on this, the NRA, I mean, that wasn't a law that was specifically directed at black people. Now, you can say it is odd for the NRA to be in favor of gun control. I think that's a perfectly legitimate criticism. However, this was not a law that was slighted against only black people. This was a law that affected everyone in America.
And that's exactly what Pulse of Defiance said.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's keep going.
Pulse of Defiance. The governor at the time, Ronald Reagan. So the Black Panthers are as originally conceived, and at some point the cops, well, of course, despised the Black Panthers. There were several confrontations, and some of them went awry and in a direction they should not have gone. So that's what everybody.
Stop. The cops despise the Black Panthers. I wonder why. I wonder why the people charged with protecting the community were put a little on edge when people brandished weapons in public. fuck those cops. They don't have a right to feel safe. They don't have a right to feel like they're performing their job competently. You should just let these people carry around guns and like point them at people. Like, that's fine. That's fine. You should just accept that, cops. Just accept that. Ugh.
Seizes upon, right? But the original concept of the Black Panthers was, we're going to take the power back. If you say I got a Second Amendment right, then I got a Second Amendment right. And I'm going to use it for self-defense.
You don't have a right to be violent.
And at that time, the reaction was so overwhelming against it, they had to pass laws taking away Second Amendment rights. So now if Beyonce's saying, hey, you know what, we're getting shot again.
Oh my God, fuck that. Pause. So now all of a sudden you're the defender of the Second Amendment. That is amazing. You can't be. I'm so like, this goes against everything you've been saying for years about the Second Amendment. How do these two ideas exist in your small head? How do they not tear you asunder? You, such a hypocritical piece of shit.
And it's a lot of powerless kids, whether they're in St. Louis, they're in New Orleans, they're in Chicago, they're in New York, wherever they happen to be. Well, I got a little bit of power, and I'm going to use it. And I'm at least going to put that message out there. Not violently. That is fantastic. Nicely done.
That's fantastic. Okay, so a video and then a Super Bowl performance that glorified a known hate group was fantastic. People should quote Cenk on that for years to come, because that is just like, Cenk, there's a reason you're not on the news. There's a reason you're on like a fake news show on the internet. Fuck Cenk.